Orania, a white-only neighborhood, a white-only town in South Africa, was established in 1991.
So it makes you think it was a plan for 1994 to happen.
And also, as part of the arrangements, you better sign that you'll never do anything there, huh?
Yes, you cannot touch anything in this place.
You cannot touch that town.
Please.
1991, actually, that's when Madiba
Was released.
Yes.
Makes you think, huh?
Although the democratic elections only took place in 1994,
But
he was released in that same year.
Whoa.
Do you have, please take this one. When the continuation of apartheid,
Yes.
of whites only establishments or places was being
Formed.
Look who's a part of this supposed GNU.
Yeah.
Look where it's headed. Look at Cyril's life and look at all this. Is this really a GNU or is this a new agenda? Is this a new path that this particular country has decided to take? It's so loud and clear. It's right there.
Exactly.
We can see it. It should be the mission of the DA to come out here and say, you people have been effing around for so long. We're going to fix this shit.
Yeah.
It should be the mission and we want it to be the mission. I actually want this supposed GNU to succeed because the good and better of the people of South Africa is far more important
That is the goal.
than seeing which party or which race of people did a better job than the other.
Yeah, we don't want to see a race being more victorious than the other.
South African inaugurations tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. Some dignitaries have already arrived in South Africa.
Some of those dignitaries are puppets also that have not done a lot of things for their people.
Yeah,
in these
that's
supposed
also.
countries. We're not going to name any names right now here. We reserve the right to generalize and assume a lot of African people here, a lot of Pan-Africanism people who take interest in the entire continent will understand exactly what I mean without pinpointing. If you take offense, perhaps maybe because you've heard that your president is attending or something like that, or someone has certain ties, or maybe you have some sort of guilty conscience about that. But when I looked at the list, I don't think I saw a lot of European people. I don't think I even saw any European country attending the South African inaugurations of 2024 Cyril Ramaphosa.
No, I didn't see it. I think it's like 90% African continent, yeah.
Yeah, African countries. I know China is going to be there. They're sending their envoy. I know China will be there. I know that the people of Palestine are sending their ministers.
Yes.
So those are there.
I think also maybe some of the BRICS countries could also, some of the other BRICS countries.
Now you see there, that's where everything starts to take a conversation. That's where the conversation begins because we don't know for sure how these two political parties, the ANC and the DA, how the difference in their policies and what they stand for, how they will actually work together. And that will determine it will determine their foreign policies, whether it's G7 or BRICS.
Yeah. Because I think that Ramaphosa, he was supposed to attend the G7 in Italy in the last week or two. And obviously he didn't go because of the elections happening. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he didn't go because they got issues to deal with.
Yeah.
They have politics to deal with, internal politics as South Africans. 30 years of being in charge of knowing exactly what you want to do as a government, as South Africa, as a party. They've always maintained the same stance when it comes to foreign policies and how they deal with the rest of the world. Now, even the rest of the world has zoomed in on South Africa. They're saying, okay, how is it going to be now? Because we know and we've seen from the past that, for example, this particular party that the ANC is now in coalition with.
I like to say they're in cahoots with.
In cahoots, in coalition, partnering up, teaming up with, joining hands or joining forces. All of those except, in my opinion, unity. I don't see any form of unity there because these two political parties, the ANC and the DA, they differ big time in their policies.
Yes.
So anyway, the rest of the world is looking at this whole situation and this new government and see which direction it aims to go. Are these people going to be able to work together? What would they stand for? Because the DA is considered to be more of a Western supportive G7 type of capitalistic party.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the ANC, the way they align themselves since the days also of Jacob Zuma, who initiated those relationships with the BRICS nations.
Yes.
It's very different. It's very different there. Even John Steenhuisen, I know we're already going into this. I know it's probably 5 or 6 minutes into this podcast and we still got some time, but there's a lot to say.
Yeah.
Welcome. Did we say welcome?
No, we didn't.
Did we say welcome?
No, we didn't. Not yet.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Please forgive us. We are so passionate about that which we do.
Yes.
We appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to join us, to click on the button to watch us. Please show your support. If you like this channel, if you appreciate the authenticity, please like the channel, like and share, and become a member. Join our Patrons account where we go extremely straightforward with certain topics that we cannot necessarily feel free with here on YouTube.
Yes.
Or TikTok or wherever you're watching, wherever you're coming from. So you're welcome. You're greatly appreciated.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes, there was a time John Steenhuisen even traveled to Ukraine to show support, to stand in solidarity in a way with the people of Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's a big thing right there because Ukraine is supported by the West and all that kind of thing. So foreign policy will play a role over there.
Yeah, for sure. And also they differ on the whole Israel and Gaza thing as well.
Yeah.
So it would be very, very interesting to see how.
Yes, it will be interesting. But the fact is, we will see how the DA will have to work with the ANC because the ANC, when it was the majority leading party, could take a decision and say we stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine and say, therefore, we are going to the ICJ. Because we believe this is that. We just don't want to use that term. We believe this is what's happening in Gaza. This is how we describe it.
Yes.
This is how we see it. So we're going to take that particular nation to the ICJ, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we believe. The ANC reserved the right, was able to come out and make such decisions when it had majority power as the governing party in South Africa. Now that they're with this particular John Steenhuisen, who obviously stands with the DA, and the DA is a Western party, South Africa is now at a stage where it will have to demonstrate to the whole world, to the global community, if it's really a rainbow nation, if this is really true unity, or if it's just a cop-out, or if it was just an instruction given from the top, from wherever these foreign powers might be, whether you want to bring in certain names of certain people that hold dynasties left, right, and center, whether you want to bring in Britain or whatever, this will all tell. It's going to show whether the ANC truly believes in a government of unity and why they are willing to go to the extreme of the many challenges that it faces as it has to now work hand in hand with the opposition party.
That's a very strong, that's been the opposition party for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
They've been going head to head in everything for the past 30 years. And now for them to be working together in a coalition government
is unprecedented.
Whoa, it truly is.
I even remember certain scenes in that Parliament of South Africa in Cape Town, when Cyril Ramaphosa was talking on the stage, and he even turned to Steenhuisen and said, Steenhuisen, shut up. Shut up. And then they object. Of course they're going to object. South African Parliament is a show.
Oh, but it's
really
nice,
They're entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
He turned to Steve. I wonder if they'll talk about it. Do you remember when you told me to shut up last time? Yes, shut up. I'm joking. Today, they are forced to work together. Yes, they are forced to work together. The interesting point also is, as we've mentioned in previous pod, is the fact that there are other parties in this supposed government of national unity that aren't really getting the mentions or the acknowledgements, the recognition that they maybe perhaps deserve because they are all under the banner of national unity.
Yes, exactly. Because they are just there to just fill up the numbers, just to get extra votes. That is it. They are not a major party. So, okay, a 2% party, okay, let's ask them. They need it. Yeah.
And this lady here that we're watching, you see this lady here?
Yes,
who's
yes.
been on the news, on the SABC News. That's a free mention for you, SABC News. Take it. This particular lady, when she spoke about this supposed government of national unity, she said, yes, of course, the leading party, the ANC, is going into a government of national unity with the main opposition party, the DA, including other smaller parties.
Yes. Who are they? Say it.
You see how they're referring to them
Yes.
already. You say this is about unity.
Yeah.
You say it's about equal rights. We should all have a voice here. We're going to govern the Republic of South Africa together. But already, your mainstream media, your supposed media outlets, it's in your language already. You're not mentioning the names
You're right. It's
of
like
those other parties that belong to this supposed unity or union.
it's not a unity. There's no equality in this coalition government that they are calling it. I mean, the GNU that they are calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, those smaller parties, they are falling into others. They don't care about the others.
Those ones are swallowed up already.
Whoa.
They've been swallowed. The Inkatha Freedom Party. The Inkatha Freedom Party, or the IFP, this is the second time that the Inkatha Freedom Party is a part of this government of national unity, because in 1994, when they started this whole GNU, they were part of it.
Yeah, they were.
Back in the day. So they know, like, they're supposed to be in there because they've been told you will be a part of the...
Exactly.
Our viewers are probably already thinking, my people, I know you're already thinking, Patrick, what do you mean they've been told? I know that you guys are extremely smart. I know that since you've taken the time to click on this video, you follow politics. And since you saw the banner or the thumbnail already, and you can see that we're talking about South African politics, you have your own reservations and you have your opinions. But it's the truth. It's what exists out there. We cannot be out here just completely believing how things are playing out here.
Yep.
I believe that some people are orchestrators.
Yes, they've just been put into certain places and just been told, okay, take them. That is what they're being do. That is how politics are being run in South Africa.
Because let's just try to take it a little sometime back. In 1994, what experience did the ANC have in governing a country? In 1994, they caucused. The ANC caucus when it won majority of power. Could it have governed South Africa by itself?
No way.
From what experience?
That's why they needed to form that GNU.
That's why they advised them. Okay, let's use a more polite way.
Yes.
Of giving them some respect. They were advised.
Yes.
You know, there's certain things where they say it's not a question. You know, that somebody would tell you something. I'm not asking.
Yeah, I'm not asking you this.
I'm not asking you this. I suggest we do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. And some people start to talk, give their suggestion. Okay, feel free to put your input in here, but there comes a time somebody will say, I'm not asking.
Yeah, this is not really up for discussion.
It's not up for debate.
No. This is just a take it or leave it situation. Yeah.
And I think you're going to take it because for the longest time, apparently you people haven't had the supposed freedom that you are currently now fighting for, the one that we are proposing. Listen, let's take it all the way back to South African apartheid days and talk about practical social issues like the way of life of the citizens. You know what is interesting? Most African countries got their independence during that period of 1958, 1957 to that 1960.
Yeah.
We can run it off and say in the 1960s, for example, in that west coast of Africa, those francophone nations, colonies of France got their independence in 1960, right?
Yeah.
Why did it take South Africa so long, 34 years later, in 1994? That's when South Africa got rid of its apartheid regime. Why 34 years later? South Africa is actually one of the most, I don't want to use the term, the art term, back in the days. Now, of course, you're going to argue and say perhaps it still exists now. But since then, their foundation and the things that they already had in place was so deep, the foundation was so strong that it needed its own time. 30 years later, after most African countries, they then finally decide and say, okay, we're going to go this direction. The democratic, 34 years.
That's 34 years. Huh? That's a lot, man.
Why South Africa?
They took a stance and said, no, we still want to continue in this route.
Yes.
But why?
And isn't South Africa the only country that has, there's a reason why it's a rainbow nation. These other Western African countries, for example, the white folks never really resided there. It's like they colonized and they put systems in place and
then they left.
They went back there, but we got paperwork over here that makes sure that we control everything down there. Colonial pacts. You understand? But South Africa, they came and they said, we like the weather here.
The settlers, that's how they call it, the settlers.
Yeah.
They really settled in South Africa and put their roots and ideologies within the people.
Nowhere else in Africa that you see that a lot, huh?
No.
I don't even say a lot. Where else would you see that in Africa that they settled there?
No.
There isn't.
No, I can't think of it.
South Africa. And they even brought a language there. They brought a language. Right?
Yes.
Yes. So now that we know, now that perhaps some of our beautiful, greatly appreciated audience are thinking of this again, surely this explains why the supposed democracy that was ushered into South Africa took so long, came decades after other African countries got theirs.
Yes.
And should it also perhaps mean that things didn't completely change?
No.
In 1994.
No, it didn't.
Do you understand, huh?
Yeah.
In 1994, because we already know that these people have the traits or the trends, the character, the attitude to say, no, we are not. They were probably arguing with the international community.
Yes.
They were probably getting pressure. Britain, they were probably getting pressure from the French, from the Belgium, for example, who colonized the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
Why are you people still holding on to this apartheid regime? Why are you guys still doing this? You know what I'm saying?
It's not right. Yeah.
Yes, with Madiba, they had to lock Madiba up.
Yeah, because he was the one really talking about it and getting help from the outside. So
they were probably they had this stance. No. That's because they resided there now. They stayed there. They've created all those systems, pouring concrete into sewage pipes was not an option because they knew that they had to stay there.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? It's a different case to what happened in Mali in 1957. Mali and Guinea-Bissau. Those two countries in West Africa that refused to sign colonial pacts to France that would give France every single economic right about those particular colonies. You understand?
Yeah.
So forcing them like that was not an option by threatening to disrupt or destroy everything that it has built. That's why when you go to South Africa, you just look at the architecture, you look at the road, the infrastructure. South Africa is one of the most well-developed countries in Africa.
Yeah, and it's got natural beauty as well. That is mostly why probably they wanted to settle there.
Look at that Table Mountain.
Yeah.
They don't have that in Europe.
No.
They have it elsewhere and all that kind of thing, but we got the weather.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
South Africa is very beautiful.
Got the 4 seasons, yes.
We got the Cape of Good Hope. Cape of Good Hope.
Yeah.
Cap de Bonne Espérance. That's how you say it in French. The Cape of Good Hope. You know, that's where they used to come through also.
Yes.
With their ships and
exactly,
stuff.
Exactly.
Beautiful. They had a freaking harbor over there, man. The arrival, I'm sure these ladies got out of those boats with their freaking hats. You understand what I'm saying? The weather is perfect. It's so freaking beautiful out here. When you stand in Cape of Good Hope, because I've visited there, I've gone there a number of times. You gotta drive past those Muizenbergs and Salmonstown. You gotta keep going.
Yes.
You get there. You can literally stand on a certain hill, look into the water, look into the ocean, look at sea, and see a line.
And see how they meet, how they clash. How they are bumping into each other.
Yes. You'd be able to see how the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean meets.
Yes.
I really saw the difference. I see it. This one is the Atlantic is light blue, and this Indian one is slightly got a darkish blue.
No.
Or is it the other way around?
The other way around. Yes.
Is it the other way around?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But you can see the difference.
Yeah, that's true.
That's amazing.
It's a beautiful sight, really. It's something that everyone should go and see at some point in their life.
Yes, and so these particular settlers at the time would arrive in style. So they say, no way, we're just not going to colonize here. We're going to reside here. So that's very interesting because even in those days, in those apartheid days, South Africa was so deep into that particular system that it had locations and whereabouts where certain race was not allowed to go.
Yeah.
You know, they had beaches for the W's only.
Yes.
And they had beaches for the B's only. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They had restaurants for the W's only, and they had restaurants for the B's only.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? They had it systematically organized. And yes, with signs, huh?
Big signs, making sure even this part of the grass, you cannot sit there. The bees cannot sit here. Yes.
They literally said, you bees, the blacks, stay there. That's how those particular places were formed.
Yeah.
Those townships.
Exactly.
That's how it was formed. That's where the masses will stay. You guys will stay that side. We will stay this side.
Exactly.
That's the difference. That's how it was all formed from the very beginning. And there was designated places where these ones could go and enjoy. And there was also designated places with these particular other ones, the privileged ones. The ones that are still reaping the rewards and the benefits and the privilege of having certain things to their disposal since back then. Till this particular day, it still exists in South Africa.
But not at such a visual and in-your-face type of a way. It is, you know it's happening, but it's not, the signs are not there anymore, but it's definitely still happening.
You know the ones I'm talking about? I'm talking about, for example, the policy that the EFF stands for when they say repatriation of land without compensation. If you say 1994, we are now all equal, we govern this place, we need reforms of certain types. The land, when the British left Britain to come to South Africa, they came to a particular land.
Yes.
And they got paperwork of a certain land. How then can you come out here and say 1994, you are free, you have it back, but you still don't give me the land. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
It's just sensational talks here. I'm free of what? So, I get it. You guys are free to go to those beaches now.
Yeah.
That's the democracy.
You cannot tell me I cannot go into this place anymore. We shop at the same places.
Yes, that's the freedom we're giving you.
Yes.
You can eat at the same restaurants now. You can go to the same schools. Can you? Look, we're going to have certain requirements.
Yeah.
Before you can get into certain universities out here. There are different requirements for different tertiary educations.
But even, thinking back, because at that time I was very young in 1994, and going as a person of color, going into a white school. In 1995, I went into a white school. You could still feel like, even I was like, I think I was 12 years old or something like that. You could feel like, this is new. This is a new experience,
When you first went there.
When I first went into these white schools.
When your kind
was
allowed
exactly
to finally come in.
Yes, exactly.
And who says that when you are finally now allowed to come in, the reception will be warm?
It wasn't warm.
That all these would have been told. They would have had gone through a certain orientation on how to warmly welcome the newbies.
Yes.
They still gave you looks.
They still gave you looks because you had the curly hair and your accent wasn't exactly the same as theirs. So it was like you're different. We have to accept you now. And you could feel it mostly from the kids. The teachers, not that much, but from the kids, you were always still separated in the beginning.
Yeah. Since we always like to keep an open mind on this show, it's important to include everybody in these conversations. So even the white folks that get to watch this show, they should also hear that we try our best to look at both sides of the coin. You understand? Sometimes I ask myself, I'm going to need the patience of my black people, my black folks, okay? We are not condoning, right?
Yes.
We are not condoning anything. We are not saying certain things of the past was good, but let's indulge. Let's go, because we have a macho crowd over here. When you look at how the things went in apartheid days, how the assets were managed, how the way of life was managed, how the crime rate was perhaps in some form of control, whether it was high or not, when the white folks, when the apartheid days were around, and you compare it to this particular moment now, since 1994, since the ANC or the black people got power, what is the difference? When they put those numbers up here, when they put these numbers around, you start to question certain things. Certain governments and certain parties and certain liberations. Certain freedoms. Certain way of governing or managing. Should we say corruption or what? But you start to question a lot. And you want to start saying, which was better? Now, of course, certain things that happened in apartheid days, like slavery and mistreatment of the black people, was not good. Like, for example, the reason why that particular Oppenheimer started his political party in 1957 to help improve the conditions of black laborers in the mines and around South Africa, those kinds of things. That's because they were happening. So in this day and age now, post 1994, you say, okay, it's good that we are out of that kind of system. That's one thing. Those are the disadvantages of those times. So we're not saying it was perfect and we should go back to that. There are certain things, the goods and the bads. The good and the bad. Zero low shading in apartheid days. The good and the bad. So it's a conversation, right? Because we all mature here.
That is very, very true. That's a very good point, because which one was actually doing better? Because, we don't condone the treatment of what happened before 1994, but now they were given the ability to run a country.
Since 1994.
Since 1994. And in that time, corruption grew.
There's some sensitive people here. When you said they were given the opportunity to run the country, some of them already threw plates on the floor. Some of them want to scroll now. Some of them wants to change the channel. Some of them want to label this freaking planet. I mean, this show. This channel. Sorry.
I apologize for the use of
giving. Since you took your freedom, your rights. Since we took our rights.
Since we were liberated.
Since we liberated ourselves. Through Madiba.
Yes.
Through negotiations, right? There was negotiations. Did we really take it ourselves?
No.
Or did they finally decide to say, look, we need to come to a middle ground? Since the 1960s, these Western African countries, they've moved on from this. We are now being excluded from global policies and agendas because of this thing that we are currently still living in. So we need to bend now. We need to accept the fact that we need to release these folks into these privately white-only establishments. We need to find a way to live together
in harmony.
Did we fight for it, or was it now time for that particular system to come to an end because of external pressures?
Yes.
It's different conversations. It's complex. We all have our innuendos and we all have our feelings and our opinion as to what. But to your point, please go on with it, because I know where you're going with this. How did we manage the assets of the country, the economy, the crime rates, everything from top to bottom since 1994 as black folks?
Yes, exactly. That is the point exactly. I mean, we had the opportunity to do that. And now 30 years later, we are actually forced. The citizens of South Africa has basically forced us to work together. Yes, again, with those people, that gave us the opportunity to do so 30 years ago. The black people
themselves have come out now and said, ANC, please. When you look at the numbers, the voters, the black folks in South Africa, South Africans did not say, we're going to go with the DA.
No.
That 21 to 22% of the DA is the ceiling or is the cap
that the DA has had.
That the DA has had for such a long time, and they've always been there.
Exactly.
They did not do anything crazy to be a part of this government of unity.
No.
It's the black folks in South Africa that could not see eye to eye, that could not sit or stand together. And it's also because of the politics that existed within the ANC party itself, between Cyril Ramaphosa, the former deputy president of South Africa, to the president himself at the time, Jacob Zuma.
Exactly.
Personal feelings, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Is the reason why the country itself has now found itself in this particular situation.
Yes.
Because all that 17%, 14% of that was always there. It has just gone to another black party.
Yeah, it didn't go to DA.
It did not go to DA.
No.
In fact, DA went down by 1% or something.
Yeah.
So it just shifted. So it's still within, so majority of the South Africans still want to vote black. Yeah. Still want to go for, let's just say, progressive parties.
Yes.
Okay, the ANC used to push the message of being a progressive party, but for the last 30 years or even the last decade,
not so much.
Not so much. They haven't really done much. And so that's the situation that exists. And now, DA got lucky. The DA got lucky because of the internal politics that existed within the ANC between Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa.
Exactly.
Zuma must fall. That particular movement, that's the ANC caucus, did not know how to deal with those particular politics. They let their personal feelings and their emotions get the better of them. This is why we now find ourselves in this particular situation where it seems, I don't know how this will be seen, but now that is a coalition, not a GNU, a coalition, the DA has to rescue South Africa. Yes.
That is also a bit of narrative that's coming out of the mainstream media, that DA is out here to rectify.
No, and that should be their mission. It should be their mission. It should be the mission of the DA to come out here and say, you people have been effing around for so long, we're going to fix this shit.
Yeah.
It should be the mission, and we want it to be the mission. I actually want this supposed GNU to succeed because the good and better of the people of South Africa is far more important.
That is the goal.
Than seeing which party or which race of people did a better job than the other.
Yeah, we don't want to see a race being more victorious than the other. No.
That's a selfish, evil way of thinking.
Yeah.
Of viewing politics, of trying to contribute, of being a South African. That is a very selfish way of being.
Exactly.
You should want this particular arrangement that's now in place to succeed.
Yes.
To succeed.
Because in the end, this is the change that citizens wanted.
That God has allowed.
Amen.
Yes, that God has said, hey. Yeah.
Yeah, South Africa could not continue the way it was. That loan shedding. And
I'll even say this. I am an EFF supporter because I know their funding manifesto. I know where they're coming from. I know and I understand exactly when they say nationalize these assets for the good and better of South Africa. We need a corrupt-free government in order to do this. We want free education. We want to reduce the level of unemployment in South Africa. We want to reduce this and that and that. We want good for South Africans. We want to raise your wages and all that kind of stuff. I'm an EFF supporter. But just because I'm an EFF supporter doesn't mean that I should wish bad on the current government that's currently in place. That means you care more about yourself and your corner and your party than the millions of South Africans.
Yeah. That's a very selfish way to be. Yeah, because like you said, EFF supporter. I'm also an EFF supporter. Yes. I support their mission, but I also know that EFF is not ready to run South Africa.
You think so?
Not yet. No, I don't think so.
You have just opened something.
I don't think that they are completely ready.
Was the ANC ready in 1994? No. Perhaps not. Some people will argue and say that and say, that's why they went into some GNU back then. But they can never be totally ready because they don't have all the information, the details of everything that exists within the archives, within, those private rooms
I know
of
those,
South Africa. The classified information, let's use that term. So they can never, ever be ready. As long as they lay a foundation in their manifesto and their mission and their goal and strive to go through that. But you are right. There has been time when the EFF has flip-flopped between their policies.
Yeah.
Here and there. There's been times they haven't stuck to what they say they would deliver. But that's... you can work with a party that's willing to do the right thing, and if it makes mistakes, so be it. We know where your heart is. Keep on moving. You have our support.
Yeah.
Then you would want to work with a party that's participated in corruption for the last 30 years. Yes. I would rather work with an EFF that sometimes makes mistakes. It's a mistake. It's a non-intentional intentional action. It's a mistake. Rather than one that would be out here and just be completely corrupt and do things for their own benefit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but for me, I still think that if they have the ability to win the majority of South Africa,
when will that day come?
I don't know. It will be an interesting day.
What are they on now? 9%?
Yeah, 9%, because they went a bit less because of MK.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think they were on 11% before.
Exactly.
So now they're on 9%. This little chart here shows you a little bit of what's been happening in South Africa now. The darkness we are arising from. 80 billion per month in load shedding.
Oh.
South Africa loses out on 80 billion per month because of load shedding. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. A month.
Yeah, there's a PM right there. 58% of youth are unemployed. This is under the government of the ANC.
For 30 years.
For 30 years. I mean, currently that's where we stand. So I don't know where it was in like 2000 or in 1997. Number one, inequality. Now, I don't know if this number one inequality is like the most unequal country in the world, like in terms of inequality. But there's a high percentage of inequality there. 56% live in poverty. That's half of the freaking country, man.
It's more than half, man.
How can you have a lower crime rate when you have such a high percentage of people living in poverty? People get desperate.
Yeah.
And want to take matters into their own hands and want to do things to survive. This is all since that state capture in 1994. 1,357 daily crime.
Oh my gosh.
Crime rate per day is 1,357.
And those are the reported ones.
Yeah, of course. Crazy, huh?
Yes.
300 billion rand per annual in corruption.
Whoa.
That's a lot, huh?
Per year. So 80 billion per month in load shedding, and then per year is 300 billion.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's 80 billion is lost.
Yes.
From the country per month in 80 billion, but that's a loss. We're talking about corruption. We're talking about stealing.
Yeah.
We're talking about there's still upwards of 300 billion.
Yes, that's a loss from the country. They're taking it from the country.
Of course, they're taking it from. They were supposed to allocate a lot of that funding to certain sectors.
Yes.
To make the way of life for the people better. This particular term I cannot say here on YouTube, but it starts with a R. I would probably say, you know that fruit, that little fruit?
Yes.
What's the fruit?
Grapes.
A grape.
Yeah.
Grapes, right? That particular thing, 138 of it on a daily basis.
That's such a shame.
That's crazy, huh? So the other one of being unalived.
Yes.
That one is around 83 daily.
Whoa.
These are all like crime stuff, but this is what this particular government hasn't been able to manage. Some of those facts there, some of those statistics there, it's online. Everybody knows exactly where to find it.
Yeah.
But these numbers did not exist
in those times.
I don't want to say that because they'll just find a way to twist it.
Because, it probably did exist. It's just it wasn't reported. It was sort of, can you say allowed back then?
It wasn't, there was also
like
some
overlooked.
Okay. Now the other question is probably saying same things also probably happened there, but they had a different definition. You understand? They never classified those particular types of stuff as crime back then.
Yeah.
When it was done towards that other race. It was not registered as. So please, when you look at the numbers now, which chart are you looking at?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Some people can come out and say that. But it's extremely very interesting to see how far we've come as South Africa, as the South African government. Because this particular situation now will really showcase, will really prove to the world. We'll show the world whether we also as a country, just as much as you said, you don't think the EFF is ready.
Yeah.
But the DA is the DA and the ANC ready to work together. So you can never be prepared.
You can never actually.
They're not prepared to work together.
That's
they
true.
want to. You know how many times they're going to bump heads?
Oh, too many times.
Because their policies are completely different.
I just hope it doesn't slow things down completely.
Of course it will.
It just, they just need to.
We already have this African time thing that exists.
The natural African time, yes.
You know how many times I've clicked on there to find out when are you actually going to name John Steenhuisen as the Deputy President of South Africa? You're taking too long, Cyril Ramaphosa.
He's just preparing for his inauguration tomorrow.
Your cabinet.
That's it.
You need to arrange the cabinet. I wonder if Gayton McKenzie will have the post or the position that he wants of the Home Affairs Minister of Home Affairs.
I don't know.
Patriotic Alliance.
I don't know if I actually would want him.
No, I want him too. I support him. I like him.
No, I support him,
like
but
his stance.
like his stance, maybe it's too much. But
no, once he's in there, he's in there. You have to fight to get in there. This is what certain people don't understand, and this is why everybody feared the fact that Donald Trump was getting in power, because they thought that when he would get in there, he's going to become this particular war criminal. He's going to take us into wars and all this kind of stuff. Even the boogeyman, Jacob Zuma himself, before he won presidency, I think he took it from, I don't know, who was it from? Thabo Mbeki?
Mbeki.
Yes. Everybody was saying, how is it going to be? How's it going to be? How's it going to be? Once these people are in power, they come down. These people are human. They come down and say, okay, all that, I had to get your attention somehow, right? And then they chill out a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, like I was just thinking about the way he speaks in the media and stuff like that. But it's right. You're very right. I mean, he can't just make changes just because he's the Minister of Home Affairs.
No, he's not going to. No. Man. He's going to get in there and he's going to say, hey.
He's going to try.
Something actually happens to, okay, not in terms of South Africa. No, not in. I'm about to contradict myself. I was about to say something actually happens to these people when they take the oath of office.
Oh.
And that something comes over them and they're like, look, there's a sense of responsibility here. I solemnly swear to uphold and defend the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So help me God.
Yes.
You put it on your conscience. All of these ministers, they go through the oath of office, just like the MPs did. So even them on that level, they do that. It's to some degree, I want to believe and I want to think that's the moment of truth. That's the moment of truth when you finally take up office, whether it's a presidential or a deputy or a speaker or a minister. When it's time for that oath, but these second term inaugurations, for example, of the ones of Cyril Ramaphosa, we don't know if that conscience will heed it, because this conscience has already experienced the mullah, the money from this past term. The corruption was so high. So he's like, I know how to deal with this oath.
Yeah, it's okay, man. The oath is an oath.
The oath is an oath. It's just an oath. God understands. I have to survive. That's how some of these people do it. But before, I was about to say, every single puppet, whenever they say, no. Puppets don't give a shit about oath.
Yeah.
When a puppet gets ready to get in power, he says, yes, I solemnly swear. He will say it out loud for you to hear. The puppet probably has his fingers crossed somewhere. Puppets know before they are sworn in that, listen, you'll take an oath. I don't know what kind of God you believe in, but hey, you're a puppet, huh? You'll have to do what we tell you to do. Don't worry. It's not you deciding to do this. It's other people. You can live well with your conscience.
Yes,
Did you know these documents were signed before you got in power? Did you know that? No. You didn't know nothing about these colonial pacts, right? Day number 1 in office, puppets. Let me show you some of the documents that exist. Open the archives. Hey, your bank reserves are with France. Okay, Niger?
Cannot change that.
You cannot change it. Niger is fighting now. Niger is doing the right thing now. They've said, no, it has never benefited us. Anyway, it's just an inauguration. There'll be nothing different there. Let's just see if all those other leaders of all those other parties, that's what I want to see. I want to see if there'll be a difference in this inauguration when it comes to including the leaders of the other parties.
Exactly,
Let's see them sitting at certain designated spots. Perhaps let them all make a speech. Let's see. Of course, they must be invited because they're what? They are part of the national government of unity, right? Government of national unity.
Yes. So
let's see if the proceedings of a GNU type.
Exactly.
Or if it will just be ANC
in
from
the front
top
row.
to bottom.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
from
for
top to bottom.
It's not going to be. It cannot be anymore.
Because the past presidential inaugurations that they've had in South Africa since 1994 have all been around the policies and the inclusion of only but the ANC.
Exactly.
This particular one says you are this type of government. You understand? There's a part of your government that stands with the West.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I'm just waiting for the announcement.
yes. So
That's all.
What announcement?
John Steenhuisen, Deputy President. That is a definite thing. I'm just waiting to see the cabinet.
What's also interesting is what you mentioned to me off camera before about the fifth party that's a part of this GNU.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that again?
That is Patricia de Lille's party.
Patricia.
Yeah. The Good Party.
Patricia who?
Why can't I say the name?
Patricia who?
Why can't I say the name?
Patricia de Lille.
De Lille, yes.
De Lille.
Yes.
Patricia. It was Patricia de Lille.
De Lille,
They
yes.
said de Lille or de Lille?
De Lille.
De Lille. E-double-L-E.
L-I-L-L-E.
L-I.
Yes.
Okay.
Lille.
Patricia de Lille.
Yes.
Okay. She's a former DA member, isn't she?
She's a former DA leader and the current Minister of Tourism in South Africa. Yes.
But she has roots of being a part of the DA.
Exactly.
And she's what?
What do you mean?
Which party does she come
is from the Good Party. She is the founder of the Good Party.
The Good Party is just Good Party? That G-O-O-D doesn't stand for anything?
I can't.
Government something?
I don't know.
Okay. So she has connections and relationships with the DA caucus, huh?
Yes, of course.
She knows them very well. They've worked together for years, for decades. So she's also obviously well connected with the lobbyists.
Yes.
With the people that fund the DA. With the people that sponsor and uphold the policies of the DA.
Exactly.
The new South Africa we now live in. The opposition to everything that the EFF stands for.
Yes.
The EFF stands for repatriation of land without compensation, all of that kind of thing. The DA fights for rightful ownership of assets,
yes,
properties, of all these stuff. This particular Patricia de Lille, right? This particular lady, she got her experience by putting in deep foundations within the DA. She knows that party and its policies and its ability to work, its skillfulness inside out.
Exactly.
She used to be the leader.
Yes.
Right? She has experience. And she said to herself, I'm done with that. I'm starting my own party.
Yes.
And she registered. She was a part of it. And she got some votes. She's a MP.
Yes.
Also, she's a party.
Yes.
And she is also a part of the GNU.
Oh. She's the recent new member.
So we have two DA parties in the GNU.
Basically, yes.
One of them is called the DA. The other one is called the
Good Party, yes.
But the Good Party actually has its ideology and its experience and everything about itself from the DA.
Exactly.
So it's DA.
Yes.
That's what they say in other parties. But we know what other parties are. So let's go further since there are what? 5 freaking parties.
Yes.
In the supposed government of national unity. The Inkatha Freedom Party. Since its inception, since its funding, since its beginning, apparently, is it apparent? No, it's not. It's facts.
Yes.
Founded by which lobbyists? The same lobbyists that do things for the DA.
Exactly.
That particular family, we're not going to mention that family here today, but that particular family, those people who have dynasties tracing back 120 freaking years in South African history.
Yes.
The foundations are there, the archives are there. Put it in the Gazette, say it out loud. It's our names over here. We have international ties, international investments. We know the British, we know everybody. We also founded that particular Inkatha Freedom Party over there. Patricia de Lille is there. Okay. Who's this other one? DA. Of course, everybody knows you are with us, so you are also there. ANC. Cyril, we know your background. We know where you've studied. You know where you've stood and all this stuff. You remain, okay, this is the GNU and PA.
Oh, yes.
Patriotic Alliance, whose message, whose stance is a little bit of an acquired taste. Huh?
Yeah.
The stance.
You have to just like that a little bit.
Like that a little bit.
Yeah, you just have to step back and say, okay, we can sort of work with you in a way.
There's a danger of how your message is being said because we don't want it to seem xenophobic, to get rid of these people. You are also a part of these other three parties that have ties with the dynasty. And where are all the progressive parties of South Africa? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? They held a press conference 30 minutes before the first sitting, the first national sitting.
That's what they did.
On the 14th of June.
Yes.
The major progressive parties of South Africa had their own press conference where they were all complaining about not having the opportunity or the proper response from the leading party, ANC.
Yeah.
30 minutes before the first sitting began.
Yeah.
They feel sidelined. They feel that there's an agenda here within this government.
Yeah.
It's not the supposed GNU that everybody keeps saying that it is. It's an agenda. And South Africa has now decided to go back towards those days, those times.
Exactly.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I think also, I'm not sure, the Zuma, his press conference after the National Assembly.
Yeah.
You know, he actually also mentioned this GNU is nonsense.
Yes.
He's blaming the mainstream media.
Who's Jacob Zuma?
Jacob Zuma. He's blaming the mainstream media for continuing to call it a GNU when it's not a GNU.
It's not a GNU.
Completely not. And he's even saying that he's going to take action towards this mainstream media. This specific mainstream media, because they are the instigators in calling it that.
And the way they call it, the GNU, is so casually, so like, you can just imagine how the South African people just are swallowing this up. Some of them, I just hope that they watch this podcast and I just hope we are somehow able to trigger their thinking so that they start thinking for themselves and start putting things together by themselves. Look at these parties from the very beginning. Look who's a part of this supposed GNU. Look where it's headed. Look at Cyril's life and look at all this. Is this really a GNU or is this a new agenda? Is this a new path that this particular country has decided to take? It's so loud and clear. It's right there.
Exactly.
We can see it. There's nothing to... Only dumb people will not be able to get this thing.
Yeah. It's
only dumb people will come out here and entertain these supposed phrasing or titling of calling it a GNU. It's not a GNU.
Don't... Just because someone calls it, just use a little bit of thinking just to say, come on.
I mean, you mentioned the good party, Patricia de Lille. You're mentioning the DA, who worked with Patricia de Lille. You're mentioning Inkatha Freedom Party, who's also funded by the same lobbyists that's sponsoring 123. And then you look into that main bleeding party, Cyril is there, and you go back and you read about these ties with that particular lobbyist. But what the hell do you want to talk about here? And that particular dynasty, you know how powerful they are and all that kind of thing. Like, where are all the other progressive parties? None, no way to be found.
They don't want to be a part of it.
Oh.
So it's not a government of national unity.
This particular DA, that's now the main party, the main partner to the ANC. They are the talk. They're not talking really about these other small little parties.
No.
But what is its policy? All it needs is a freaking foot in the door, and that's it.
That's it. And they have it. They have their foot in now.
They are in there. They can sign certain things now. They can allow to pass certain things or not. You understand, huh?
So we
and they will immediately, you see, DA is going to do its thing because it's got a to-do list.
Yeah.
And the good will follow into it. You understand?
Yeah.
Put those numbers together. Put the numbers of the DA PA
and Inkatha.
of Inkatha and of Good. Those 4 parties. Put those numbers together first. Within the GNU.
Exactly.
Within the GNU. The supposed GNU. Put those numbers together.
That's a very good thought, huh?
They're already like boom boom.
Ew.
Like almost on this side.
So the DA can make these side meetings and say, come on, join us. We will go against and we will be the majority within.
It doesn't even have to convince them like that. Because those people are getting their own instructions too.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
We're talking about, I don't even know why lobbyists exist. Campaigns or parties are not supposed to have lobbyists. Because it's quite freaking obvious that you will do things in the interest of your lobbyists.
Yes.
They give you money, man. They say I'll scratch your back here, but once you're in there, you gotta scratch mine because I'm a businessman.
Exactly.
I'm a businessman. I don't want to pay all those tariffs and import duties when I do my thing. We'll give you 250 million. You understand? Very simple stuff.
Yes.
Very, very, very expensive stuff. Very expensive stuff.
Yes.
So there's a reason why all those parties, and they look at this particular PA, and they say, we can work with this one.
Yeah.
We lucky stance.
We can sort of manipulate this one a little bit here and there.
No, not manipulate. I don't want to use the term manipulate on him. I like him. He's a very nice guy. I like Gayton. He's a very nice guy. I like him. He's cool. But what we need to do, and what perhaps I'll do, is look at the numbers of these 4 parties excluding the ANC. When it comes to the seats, how many seats, how many votes do they have together?
Yeah.
You know, of these 4 parties, and let's see if a progressive party will join in. Because if a progressive party joins in, they will never let another progressive party join the GNU, because if it does, it might side up with the ANC and completely
take over,
override.
This
side, this DA side.
Exactly.
And what's the point?
Then what's the point of being part of this GNU then?
Yes. If another progressive party joins forces within this GNU.
That's a very good point.
And then it increases the numbers on that side. Don't go to that meeting.
Politics.
Just release a statement and say that every single party has been invited to join the GNU.
Well, we're not going to take every meeting. We're just going to make them wait. We'll just say we invited them.
Why must we take their meeting? It's against the agenda, man. They'll just make things difficult for us. Look, we don't want to stress ourselves. Huh? We already said 30 is a good number to change direction.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yes. But also, just like I said before, we like to entertain both sides of the coin. Is it a good thing now? Will it be a good thing if the DA rules South Africa now? Will it be a good thing? Since for 30 years, the ANC has just messed up every freaking sector, left, right, and center. It's conversations to have. It's things to think about. It's important not to be biased. You have to look at both sides, because we are not racist and we have to operate. We see color. Of course, we see color. What are you talking? But we say to ourselves, what is beneficial for the people of South Africa?
Exactly.
If the DA is able to do a job that will be beneficial for most South Africans, and they are honest about that, and they have zero corruption, then that's the party that should be ruling this South Africa.
Exactly.
You see, it should be that way. It should really be the dream of Madiba, of Nelson Mandela, a one South Africa, a rainbow nation, where everybody is able to live together. That front that the DA puts up in every parliament, although it's extremely questionable, when they use Musi Maimani before and say, stand here, and it was somehow effective into getting some votes from the black community, fine, let that be. But at the end of the day, that's what we would want. But it needs to be genuine.
Exactly.
And not self-seeking. It should be for the people of South Africa.
Yes, exactly.
You understand, huh? Because we don't want these white folks to leave South Africa. I love the fact that we have a deputy white speaker in South Africa.
Yeah.
I love that.
For sure.
We need that. We can't just have same.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
There was a time, and I remember saying this to you, but I don't know if you remember, when we were watching the first sitting of the National Assembly on the 14th of June.
Yes.
There was a time I paused the screen, and the supposed image that was on the screen was when the DA was standing, when they were congratulating this deputy speaker.
Oh, yeah.
And so the whole caucus or the team, the party was standing. And when you just looked into the depth of that particular image, that scenery, it was so beautiful to see white folks and black folks,
yes,
and Indians, and people of all types, all different races, standing together with a genuine smile on their faces, rejoicing for a certain win. It was good to see that. I really, truly hope that what they present here on TV as the DA, when it comes to white people and black people, is really, truly true.
Yeah, because South Africa, that is the rainbow nation that South Africa stands by. That is the way it is. Yes,
I really
beautiful.
Hope that it's true.
Yeah.
And that it's genuine.
That's the most important thing, that it's genuine.
So some people could think, and I've also fallen into this bracket before in the past, to say, look, are they using Musimai money?
Yeah.
Or just to appeal to the crowd, or are they showing a spirit of inclusion? You understand? That's one thing. But their policies will determine.
Yeah.
The fact that they're lining up with the West, that's what's so questionable here. The fact that they are seen as, or they act as a capitalistic party, and they're here to protect certain assets or certain names is concerning. Let's see. The GNU of 1994 only lasted about 2 years. It dissolved after 2 years in 1994. So what's also interesting, what we are looking forward to, is seeing how this particular GNU will be able to work together and see how long it'll be able to sustain itself and survive.
I suppose the deals that are being made is saying that it cannot be dissolved within the 5 years. I'm sure there has to be some sort of a thing.
I don't think it's binding, but I don't know. But also, the one of 1994 was able to pick its course because they still had the numbers.
Oh yeah, they were the majority.
Yeah, 60% majority party that decided to just that decided to just include these other parties, or that was told, listen, if you win, you better create a GNU.
Yeah, they were told. Because why would you still run a country with the national party?
Why would you? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactement. Why would you choose to shape power? Ooh, who are we talking to? Is this an angel or what? Why would you choose to shape power with your past oppressor?
Exactly.
Why did the 1994 GNU exist? And whose idea was that? Why did you decide to shape power with this person who kept you in that place?
Yes.
For 27 years. What was that about? Was this the arrangement?
It definitely was, man. It was, we'll let you out,
but
we'll let you be president, but you still have to form some sort of a government with us.
But but also one can say, no, it was not an arrangement because they chose to dissolve it after 2 years. They chose to dissolve it because at that time South Africa already knew that they won.
Yeah.
So you can't come out really and say, go back to prison. You understand? Huh?
Yeah.
You can't. Too late. Bye. See, too late. It's true. Yes. But also, since we touched on the issue of apartheid back in the days, what the whites were allowed to do, what the blacks were not allowed to do, and where we find ourselves now,
Yeah.
Let's go to this particular story. I don't even want to say it's a story. To this fact that exists nowadays in South Africa. That particular town.
Hey, that
You
town.
know that town?
That specific town, Orania.
Orania.
Wow.
Let me just read here. Welcome to Orania, South Africa. Overview, please, my people. I got my reading glasses on. Let me go. Orania is a unique and controversial town in South Africa, located in the Northern Cape province along the Orange River.
Yes.
Established in 1991.
Interesting.
What?
Interesting.
Excuse-moi. Orania, a white-only neighborhood, a white-only town in South Africa, was established in 1991. Even before the supposed ushering in of democracy,
So
while they were still in power.
So it makes you think it was a plan for 1994 to happen.
And also, as part of the arrangements, you better sign that you never do anything there, huh?
Yeah. Yes. You cannot touch anything in this place. Yeah.
You cannot touch that town.
Please.
If you get in, these are classified information.
Yeah.
We're just able to think in a classified type of way. You understand what I'm saying? We're just able to just deduce, put this out there, think about this, or don't think about this. Who cares? Perhaps you follow us for a certain reason because we give you something to think about. What is your view on this? This is my particular view on this particular town, Orania. In 1991, since it was founded, certain people were called in certain rooms and said, listen, 1994, we will hold the elections, yes. Because in 1991, actually, that's when Madiba
was released.
Yes.
It makes you think, huh?
Although the democratic elections only took place in 1994,
but
he was released in that same year. When...
Whoa.
Do you have... Please, take this one. When the continuation of apartheid...
Yes.
Of whites-only establishments or places was being... Formed. The continuation... that's what they also call those particular colonial pacts in West Africa from France.
The continuation.
Continuation of colonialism pacts.
Yes.
That they got those countries to sign.
Yes.
So even in this 1991, it's not by chance that this particular place was founded in 1991, the same year that Madiba was released.
Yeah, because there was a plan.
There was a plan. Because this place is so freaking secure, so freaking untouchable, that even 30 years into supposed democracy where black people are in power, nobody can go and mess around there.
Man, they even have their own currency.
Yep. They have their own money.
That's basically the same as the rand.
Same value.
Yeah, same value. But they had their own little currency. Come on. In South Africa.
In the Northern Cape province.
It's crazy,
along
man.
The Orange River, established in 1991. It is known for its commitment to preserving Afrikaner culture and language. The town is exclusively inhabited by Afrikaners and operates as a semi-autonomous community. Understand, huh? To South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goodness, I don't know. I
for the preservation
that's what
of the Afrikaners and the language.
That is what I'm trying to think. I mean, what is there to preserve? It's not like Afrikaans is not part of the 13 languages of South Africa. So how is that little town preserving?
Why is that town important if we are a rainbow nation and we say we must have a government of unity?
Yeah.
So we have a government of unity that includes this DA, but within that Orania, do you have a government of unity within that Orania? What do you stand for over there?
They have their own elections.
Are you inclusive in that place?
They have their own little elections. for their own running of their little town.
In their own municipality that does not report to anything to do with South Africa.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think they also have their own religion type of a thing, that Afrikaner type religion. I don't exactly know the name of it, but I know that.
The town has a population of around 1,500 residents. Now, I don't know exactly when this thing wrote this thing, but I'm sure that number grew a little bit. But some of the facts that I found out about that is before you can even own or attain, get as residence, there's you might as well say a bar exam. There's a bar exam that you need to pass. And there are certain questions on that questionnaire or that essay, that thing that you need to fill in, that you need to pass. There are questions that you cannot answer because you are not the kind to be able to say, yes, I am.
It's like there's no way that
you are
that
black.
person.
You are black. How can you answer this question?
Yeah. You cannot say yes to this answer.
You cannot say yes to this. You are incapable of saying. That's why I was watching this one interview with this one. You know, people are allowed to visit in that town.
Yeah, they say there is allowed. Yeah,
and they are so welcoming. They are so welcoming. When you see certain interviews of certain residents there, they talk about how, no, we want people to come. We want people to see this. But you must just come and go.
Yeah, don't stay. You cannot stay the night, huh?
Yes.
Don't think that you can own a property here or rent something here.
So it's extremely crazy. And another. I know this is true because when I read about this thing way before, this fact was there. But let me just see if it's brought up here again in a way that is precise. Let me see. Hopefully it will come up now. Bear with me. Okay, I don't see it there. I'm going to rely on my memory because I have such a great memory. Anyway, apparently in Orania, there's no police station.
What? Because there's no crime there.
No crime, man. We don't need it.
Oh my God.
Now look, please Google that.
Oh my
Google
God,
that.
wait,
Please double check
check
that real quick. We're gonna just fact check it real quick here because I don't want to be seen as if I said something inaccurate. And if I did, perhaps I'll take back my words. I will. What's that term that they use in Parliament? You know when someone says something and they say you have to take it back. Was I right?
So as of April 2019, Orania boasts having no crime and no need for a police department.
Oof. So I was right. That is freaking high, huh?
Wow.
So look, hey, that's a beating, huh? It's a beating.
It's arrogance, man.
No, it's not arrogance. It is arrogance in a way, but it's not. But it speaks volume. Again, like I said before, on this podcast, we look at both sides of the coin. You people have been in power for 30 years. The crime rate in your countries is so freaking high. It's unbelievable. We cannot live like this. What the hell?
Oh my God.
Not only are we going to create our own thing, but we're going to show that we know how to act, man.
Yeah, we know how to run a country.
This conversation, I know you wish this was a live stream so that you can put your comments, those super chats. Don't worry, everybody. Soon there will be live streams. We'll be doing this as a live stream so that your comments and your chats can come in here and we are able to just read some of them and talk about that particular question or statement or comment or remark.
Exactly.
Yes, we need to include our audience in that kind of way because I'm sure some of them just want to jump into the comment section now and just write a whole paragraph. You remember that paragraph? Somebody wrote like a two-page.
Yes.
A 2-page. You know the A4 page? They wrote 2-page comment.
Thank you for taking the time for writing the comment.
We really
appreciate it.
Actually, we need to find the name of that particular person.
That's
I need
true.
to respond to them. I haven't responded.
No. Not
Yeah,
yet.
we need to find a way to respond to that particular person. But that is so crazy, huh? Oh yeah, it's actually here. I missed it. There is a local police department that handles law enforcement within the town, but it does not serve any need in the country. That's what it says here. There is a local department, but it doesn't serve any need. But the one I read before also, maybe here, who knows what they're saying? This one says there isn't.
Yeah, as of 2019.
As of 2019.
Yes.
So maybe even the article I read before was from back then. Or it was written then. But this is fresh. So it says there's a small local. I'm sure it's just to have it there.
Yeah.
Just to have it there. Because even like-minded people also fight.
Exactly, man.
Yes. So you need a freaking police station. What's up with you?
You need it, man.
Yeah, sometimes neighbors fight. Even couples fight. You need some form of authority to come in there and say, what's the problem? You finished all the meat or what? Yes, he did. He ate all the freaking steak over here. Look at his stomach and he keeps drinking this Amstel.
Everything is in
Tell him to calm down.
Afrikaans. Everything is Afrikaans.
Oh.
Yes.
Muni.
Muni.
So the police guy has to tell the Boer guy, hey, Muni ate so much. Orania operates within the framework of the South African Constitution, but its policies and practices reflect its aim to maintain cultural autonomy.
The Afrikaner culture.
The town has had both support and criticism from different sectors of South African society. Of course. On the one hand, you're saying we are a rainbow nation, we are all equal here, we can do this, but you go and create something of a white only.
Yeah.
Of a white only. Only white people. Here, this is to preserve the African. Why don't you do that up there?
Yeah.
When I say up there, where did you go?
Up there is in...
like Europe, wherever they came from.
Yes. Go back there. Go back to...
Isn't it being preserved there? Isn't it being preserved where it came from? Where did it come from? Or did you totally abolish and erase it from that side? Don't worry about the ideologies and all this, the culture and all this. It will forever live. It has an origin. Doesn't it not? Isn't this just supposed to be some sort of an extension?
Yeah, you're right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but they said apparently it's to preserve the language and the culture of Afrikaners.
You're able to preserve whatever culture you have within South Africa.
Do you remember that Terre Blanche? Terre Blanche. There was a Boer. His name was Terre Blanche. Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
He used to wear these khaki stuff.
I think so, yes.
Yes, and he used to always, he was very rough, that one. He gave really the definition of what a Boer was. He was so aggressive and he was so out there, and he had farms and guns and ranges. He had a lot of things. He was such an influential figure in African politics back then.
Yep.
But I think he's passed away.
Yeah. Eugene.
Yes, Eugene Terre Blanche.
Yes.
Is it Terre Blanche?
Terre Blanche, yeah.
Yes, look at him. 1941. Oh, he went away in April of?
2010.
2010. 14 years ago.
Yes.
His face is probably in one of those museums in that Orania town.
Yeah, and those are the places that the people
want to preserve.
Exactly, yes.
Everything about Afrikaners. So he must be a hero there.
Yeah.
He's like a Nelson Mandela.
No, the hero in that town is the founder.
The founder?
The founder is Hendrik Verwoerd.
I saw the name over here.
Yes.
Let me see.
Hendrik Verwoerd, the previous prime minister of South Africa in that era.
Ooh, yes, that thing is hectic.
Exactly.
Let me see. Where was I? History. Hendrik Verwoerd. Founded by Karel Boshoff, son-in-law of former South African Prime Minister. No, it was founded by the son-in-law.
Yes, but he's got his mind from
Hendrik.
From Hendrik.
Yes, it was founded by this Karel. How do you say his name? Karel
Boshoff.
Boshoff,
Yes.
son-in-law of former South African Prime Minister. Those guys, they don't play games, huh?
No way.
So this particular person who was a prime minister in those times, in those apartheid era, his son went to go and found that place in 1990. He said, what? Madiba is coming out?
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela is coming out? Hey, please. We need a town.
Yeah. You went to go tell his son-in-law, do this.
We need a town. I cannot do that because I'm the prime minister. It'll be conflict. It'll be seen badly. You do it. Because we need somebody who can do it that they also fear, that the local people fear. The moment they know that you are my son-in-law, they won't say shit.
Exactly.
You can't give it to a complete stranger because a complete stranger will be undermined.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be they can approach them. But once they know that you are connected to us, they will never do anything. I just don't want to do it. You go.
Yeah.
Plus you are young. Go. Madiba is coming out now.
You have to do it now.
Do it this year. We're going to show them when the history books are read. 50 years from now, they'll see that we don't flip and play games around here. We move swiftly, quick.
We did it before 1994.
What did the British say? That he has to come out? There's international pressure, there's global pressure here? Okay, fine. We need to establish a town that preserves the culture of Afrikaners and the language.
Yes.
Put it in that Northern Cape. Put it in that Northern Cape. And you know them, they like to be by the water, by the mountains and all these other places.
They like to fish.
They like to fish. Put them there. We don't want to... It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's quite interesting that place still exists and it's overlooked. It's just to let them be.
There are guest houses and self-catering accommodations available for visitors. So they are welcoming.
Yeah, for certain people, certain visitors only.
No, I think everybody can come. But I don't know about if everybody can stay over. I don't know.
I don't know.
We need to go there. No, I saw a documentary of a black woman who actually went there.
Really?
Yes, of course. You can go there. You can go there.
But did she sleep
Regardless, over? No, but you can't just move in there. No, she was passing by.
Exactly.
But there are guest houses there, but we don't know. As visitors, I'm sure you can visit. They are friendly. They are showing you how life was intended to be.
Oof, no, please.
We were not supposed to fight. We were not supposed to live in fear. We were not supposed to steal. We were not supposed to be worried about some shit. We were supposed to live a beautiful, comfortable life. That's the aim. And they say, come and see.
But you just can't stay the night.
They don't go there. They just say, come and see. Perhaps you can stay the night. Perhaps you can get a residency once you start to duplicate these traits, these characters in your own places first. We need to see if the entire South Africa is doing better. And then perhaps maybe we can extend these things or perhaps we can come out here to you guys. But I feel no need to come over there and to live this town, this beautiful town of mine.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We will show you how to live life, a beautiful life. Worry-free, stress-free, no
crime-free.
Crime-free. The police station or the chief of police over here is known by everybody. And it's a community. It's a community. And we look after our own.
It's a community of like-minded people.
Yes, we have everything. We have industrialized certain things around here.
There's no load shedding there.
Of course
they have their own
not.
solar system.
Not. We have our own
solar power system.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if Wi-Fi is free in that whole freaking place. They're gonna get there, huh? Because their aim is to be better, to do it, to govern themselves.
Yes.
You see, they don't like this idea of relying on the government. Who's gonna govern us? You know, to allow to be governed is what these people can never or never want. What? To govern us. Look.
No way.
Just imagine some of the great minds that has ever existed. Who should they take their cue from? Who should they take orders from? Or which policies and which laws? Written by who?
Yeah.
Written by who? That's why I'm sure even some of these high-profile families in South Africa think to themselves at times and say, written by who? Who said what?
Yes.
Those particular people or the supposed lawmakers who are now passing this particular type of policy, are they able to survive World War I, World War II, in different sectors, to create a brand, to create a name, to have a skill of management, to know how to do things, to know how to pivot, to know how to forge relationships, to put in place systems that will last decades, in this case, over a century. Those particular lawmakers in that particular parliament, are they able to think steps ahead? As we've clearly shown, we are able to.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Governed by who?
Yes.
You're playing with
games,
you're
huh?
playing with people who there's some people out here who say, hey, I know what I know. I believe in myself. I can do it for myself. I can trust my thinking. I trust my thinking. I'm confident about my thinking. I know how much work I've put in this.
Yeah.
I'm not out here just to be laid. Be laid. This is not the right way. Who said this is the way to do stuff? This is not the way. Why are we introducing this? We should be able to have influence.
Yes.
We should be able to have influence. Fine, let them lead, but we will beat them at their own game. They will be easily influenced, persuaded.
They will come over to our side.
We are so freaking smart that we will be able to persuade them. Okay, I'll tell you what. It's going to be an uneven playing field. Let them have the power. We're going to show them that even with them in power, in those particular positions, we will still have it our way. You understand,
yes, yes, they will still have it their way completely.
You know, arrogance is actually real. And there's actually some arrogance that are almost... we have a smart audience here, right?
Yes, we do.
There's some people that deserve to be arrogant, huh?
Some people you just accept. Yes.
We're not saying disrespect people. We're not saying come out here and say other people are good for nothing and that you are the best, you are a narcissist. That's not what we're supporting. But we are saying there are actually some people here say, I can see why that guy is arrogant. That guy's got going on, huh?
Yes,
that guy is always in control. No wonder when he stands up here, when he or she, there's some beautiful ladies out here with great traits. When he or she stands up here, always smelling nice, always upright, never inhabited, always dressed apart, dressed to impress.
Exactly.
They know the content. They speak from A to Z. They never stutter. They know they work inside and out. They were on time. They were punctual. And they say, look, I don't stand for shit like this, huh? Please fix your shit. I'll be back. When you're ready for this meeting, I'll come back. But you are late. You're 2 minutes late. Bye. And they bounce. And then you stand and say, oh, she's so arrogant. She's so full of herself, or he's so full of himself. But at the end of the day, the motherfucker came prepared from head to toe.
Yes.
Do they deserve that? Do they have the right?
They have the right to be that arrogant.
Of course, man. You know, true confidence, proper high level, supreme confidence is arrogance to small minds. To those that are so freaking insecure about themselves and about systems around them and what they hope for and what they want. Because they don't know how to sit upright, to stand up and look somebody in the face and say, no, I don't agree.
Yes.
They said it's arrogant. True arrogance, supreme confidence.
Yes, yes.
It's not being cocky, it's just being confident. Yeah, that's what's also lacking a lot in this day and age in our society.
Confidence.
True confidence.
Yeah,
you know how many people are insecure out here?
Yeah.
You know how many people can't take a constructive criticism? They call you arrogant, they call you rude, they call you disrespectful just because they can't take the truth. I think I just rhymed it.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway. Yeah, anyway, so this town is interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Orania.
In the middle of everything. A little Afrikaner town, but their own little system still exists.
1,500 residents.
Plus or minus, yeah.
Plus or minus. Because not everybody's, of course, counted.
Yeah.
Orania is a unique destination that offers a glimpse into a distinct way of life centered around Afrikaner culture.
Yes.
Whether you're visiting for a day or considering a long stay, understanding the town's history, governance and community values will enrich your experience.
Enrich our spirits.
They're telling you, our hospitality is great.
It will be beneficial to you.
Yes. To experience a glimpse of this beautiful culture.
Yes.
Yeah. You better learn the history and the reason why we exist in the first place, and frame your mindset as you visit. Don't come here with that tendency of labeling us of a certain kind. We are just for ourselves. We are for our values and our culture, our tradition, our origin, and our beliefs as to how life should be. So please, you are welcome.
Everybody is welcome. Welcome. Yes.
Welcome. It's beautiful to have different cultures. You know, me, I'm a multicultural individual. That's why I love traveling.
Yeah, that's true.
You go to Japan, you go to China, you go to Paris, Italy. You're in South Africa, you're in Sierra Leone, and you just experience different types of cultures. You know, to preserve, I actually don't have a problem with that, actually, with this Orania. I just wish that there aren't certain restrictions on that list of requirements should you want to be a resident there. But you must also understand the founding reasons of this particular place is to preserve certain things. I think it should exist, but I wonder if it would also be as easy for other cultures to also come in there and say, this is what we want to do, and the requirements to becoming a resident of this particular town are, it should be things that are in reach.
Yes.
Not things that are beyond my reach, man. I'm black. Sorry, I cannot do it. I cannot answer this question. I'm black, man. What you trying to say? How would my answer to this particular question affect this questionnaire?
Exactly, man.
The approval rating process of this particular thing. I just hope that thing is well calculated and it's real and it's nice and whatever.
It can be changed.
Is accommodating to everyone who wishes to come in there and abide and live with the intentions of understanding why this particular town was funded for.
Yes.
That would be cool. But yeah, Orania, South Africa. Tomorrow the inaugurations.
Tomorrow it is. Officially his second term. His second elected term.
After he takes the oath.
Yes.
Ramaphosa. Anyway, we're going to do another podcast straight after that particular inauguration. That inauguration is tomorrow. So if you're catching this, you probably catch this the next day. Just know that we coming. After you've seen the inauguration, is if they need drama there or whatever it is, just know that we got comments on that too. And of course, you know that we stand for African unity and world peace.
Yes.
And we don't only talk about the issues of South Africa, we go all over the place because we believe Africa is one country. We are passionate about uniting and removing any form of xenophobia or discrimination. We are Africans and we should support one another.
Exactly.
Yes, we should be. So, big ups again to West Africa, Ibrahim Traoré, the things that are happening over there. We hope that the war in East Democratic Republic of Congo ends and that the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, who's having their elections next month on the 15th, with Paul Kagame, somehow that conflict needs to come to an end in Goma, in North Kivu. It's too much. It needs to come to an end. There's things to talk about there. We pray for Sudan. We want to see some form of peace over there.
Yes, we do.
You know what I'm saying? We want a day to come when these Saharan countries and sub-Saharan countries work together, socialize, go into business ties. The trade routes are facilitated between the two.
It's clear, yes.
And yes, I'm coming to Morocco because I want to visit Morocco. Don't think I'm coming to Morocco because I want to get to Europe. No, that's not the intention. The intention is to come and see your beautiful culture, see how we can work together. That's the Africa that we're hoping for.
Yes.
That's why we exist. That's why we are here. That's why your support means the world.
Yes. Thank you very much, people. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for watching. Much love.
Much love.